Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Kate, and in this video, I'll be guiding you through a yoga practice, a basic foundational yoga sequence that will move in and out of the floor or mat. Um, this sequence is inspired by training with Breathe for Change and Blue Soul Yoga, as well as training in movement fundamentals and moving for life. As we go along, remember that it's wonderful to explore variations, to do things in the way that works the best for you and for your body because everyone is unique. We are all so different. So rather than trying to look like someone else, really notice what feels really nourishing and good to you as you go through this practice that I'll be gently guiding. Um, if you would like to start in start with a class that is not moving in and out of the floor, I do have other videos that are on this page that are seated chair yoga versions too. So if you're looking for a different way in, feel free to start with a chair yoga practice. As we get started, just remember also that it's always wonderful to have a glass of water. I have mine ready to go over there. And if you'd like to gather any um, props, such as a block or a bolster for some of the yoga poses or a blanket for the end of class, I won't be using too many props myself, but you're always welcome to gather the materials that support you in having the best experience. And I will offer a few variations with blocks. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. So whenever you're ready, you can find your way to easy seat and easy seat or Sukhasana. See if you can find an easy way to get there for yourself. Taking your time to land in an easy seat. And just when you find your place, just taking a moment to notice the support on the floor underneath you, support of your breath. And we'll begin with 3 breaths together. So you could bring one palm to the heart center and one palm to the belly, lengthening the spine down through the tailbone and up through the top of your head. And when you're ready, we'll take 3 breaths together. Inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. And the theme I would love to explore for this class today is gratitude. So as we move, I'll be inviting you to reflect on ways that you can bring the spirit of gratitude into your movement and daily life. We'll begin with just a few cat-cow breaths. So you could begin seated, just allowing the spine and torso to spill forward like a cow, and then the cat arches its back. And the cow, breathing in and exhaling, arching back, noticing what kinds of movements feel good in your spine. And I just hear a little duck quacking by. Not sure if it will come through on the recording, but there's such wonderful wildlife. So cat, cow, duck. Yoga movements are often inspired by nature and animals. Take one more inhale and exhale, finding some gentle movement through the spine. Beautiful. From here, let's ground down through the sitting bones. And I forgot to mention at the start, but if you'd like to, you could also choose to be sitting up on a folded blanket or something to elevate your hips so that your knees gently slope down. So just wanted to mention that's also a nice option sometimes. Okay, grounding down through the sitting bones, lengthening up through the top of the head, softening the jaw, softening the rib cage, breathing in to lengthen, and exhaling, just twisting the rib cage. And you might just open the palms to the side. Take a few breaths here, allowing yourself to breathe in gratitude for your breath, for this moment, softening your way back through the center. When you're ready, inhaling, lengthening through the top of your spine, through the tailbone also, and exhaling, just rib cage takes a gentle twist. You might breathe in gratitude for the plants and the trees in your life and in your space. And when you're ready, gently coming back through the center. Let's imagine we could plant some seeds. You might even take one palm to the heart. See if anything comes to mind through your heart center. And maybe it's an intention or an energy. Allow yourself to take that palm and plant those beautiful seeds from your heart right here. Something you want to plant and grow in your life and in your heart, perhaps, or coming from your heart. And if nothing comes to mind, maybe something will. Reaching the other arm up, softening through the shoulder, and taking yourself up to go over. Softening through the shoulder, breathing into your side stretch. And when you're ready, taking your top arm, letting your top arm turn over, the palm can turn over and the arm can travel first, and then the head and neck. Beautiful. Let's take some seeds again, connect to the heart center. Maybe something comes from your heart, something you're longing for, or something you're grateful for. Sometimes gratitude could bring longings to mind also. So maybe a little bit of both. Something you're longing for, something you're grateful for, and just plant those seeds through your imagination. And maybe rest the palm on the floor. Take the other arm up, soften the shoulder, and up to go gently over. Breathing into a side stretch. Giving thanks for all the shapes your body can make, all the movements and things that we can do from day to day. Maybe for the sounds of the birds or the wind in the trees, or the energy you have to move and breathe. When you're ready, taking your top palm, turning it over, and allowing your arm to travel first, and then the head and neck. Okay, so beautiful. If you'd like, we'll come into tabletop. So finding the easiest pathway for yourself. Take your time, find your way into tabletop. So here, the wrists are right under the shoulders and the knees are right under the hips. And when you found your tabletop, you might just gently rock forward, back a bit, pressing the weight through the palms, the whole entire palm, maybe side to side, maybe in some little bits circles. And when you're ready, return back to the center. And you can take a moment to really allow your navel center to tug inward toward the spine. So you're activating your core. Beautiful. When you feel that activation, you might go ahead and take one toe, reach them straight back, and lift that leg through the heel, keeping the hip bones pointing down. So just see if you can feel that three-legged dog kind of a moment. And then coming back to the weight on all fours, try it on the other side. First, the heel is sent back, and then the heel comes straight up. So the hips point down. And see if you can feel your weight as balanced as you can on these three sorts of feet. I'm really extending through my back heel and pointing the toes down toward the ground. So you can orient yourself to the verbal directions as much as the visual. I have an interesting setup here today, so you can't see every detail, but I will try to fill in the gaps with my verbal instruction. Okay, from here, let's take a few cat-cow breaths. So softening the belly down and exhaling into a cat, inhaling into a cow, exhaling into a cat, inhaling into a cow on your own timing, exhaling into a cat, arched-like movement. Beautiful. Coming back to that strong tabletop with a flat back, let's bring the right toes back, straight back, lift up through the right heel. So your both hips are pointing down. And if you'd like and you feel ready, reach the left arm off the floor and the left fingertips reach forward. Perhaps you reach back through the right heel so the foot is flexed and spread the weight through the palm of the right hand on the floor. Breathe in, allow your navel center to move in towards your spine. When you're ready, release back down. Whew, okay. Let's try it on the other side. Just sending the left toes straight back, keeping the hips pointing down toward the earth, really linking the navel center, tugging toward the spine, lifting that left heel straight up and really keeping the hips level. So the hips are at the same level. One hip is equally high as the other. Maintain the integrity of the spine through this challenging bird dog. When you're ready, you might lift the right palm and you might turn the palm inward so that palm is would be facing towards your ear if it was by your ear, but you're reaching it and extending it through the fingertips, extending through the left heel, flexing the foot, pressing through all the palm of the left hand, really reaching and lengthening and extending. Take one more breath here. And when you're ready, move back to the center. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If you'd like, you might take this into a little wrist stretch. So you could take your wrists or hands like fists, press the knuckles into the floor, and you might just allow yourself to roll through the top of the hand on each side. And do what feels right to you. So sometimes the stretch can feel easier to me than other times. Really be gentle with yourself. When you're ready, come back to that tabletop. Let's take a gentle little circle. And then we'll come into thread the needle. So beginning with the right arm, reaching the right arm out to the side and then threading like a needle underneath the left, allowing yourself to rest your right ear on your right side and the shoulder can soften. Breathing into your moving. When you're ready, gently pressing through the left palm and bringing the right palm underneath back to tabletop. Let's try that on the left side. So reaching the left arm out, maybe even a little bit up, and threading the needle this time underneath right arm. Soften the left shoulder down, the left ear down. You might even crawl the right fingertip forward, give a little more stretch, engagement, breathing and stretching. When you're ready, bringing the right palm back in closer underneath the right shoulder, pressing the right palm down into the floor, and bringing both palms back to tabletop. Beautiful, beautiful. When you're ready, we'll come into downward dog. So tucking the toes underneath, lifting the tailbone, pressing into the palms of the hands, and really letting your head and neck lengthen. Maybe your heels may or may not reach the floor, and it's okay. Downward dog will look different on everyone because all of our bodies are different. So listen in for the version of this asana or posture that really feels nourishing for you. I like to gently soften in the joints so that I'm not locking. Press the weight through the palms and spread it out through the fingertips. You can also allow the elbows to gently rotate inward if that supports you. And allow yourself just to breathe, lengthening the tailbone up. You might explore what it feels like to have your feet a little closer, or perhaps having the feet or the posture a little wider. You can explore for some people, it might be a little bit more rounding inward or turning the sitting bones and pressing them up and out. So you can explore a lot of variations of downward facing dog based on what you need in the moment. And when you're ready, we'll move into a vinyasa. So breathing into plank, long, strong spine, allowing the navel center to tug inward, hugging the elbows in close. You can drop the knees if you'd like, or keep them lifted. Allow yourself to find your way to the floor. Press into cobra or up dog, which is lifting the thighs off the floor. Whichever variation you choose, be sure to allow that core to be engaged. So the navel center tugging inward. Opening through the heart center, tuck the toes, coming back to downward dog. Pedaling out the feet if that feels good. And you can step, float, walk, or hop your feet forward. You might breathe in halfway up and exhale, soften the knees back down. Inhale, gather the energy of the sunshine around you and bring it back in through your heart. Okay, we are going to come back down to the floor, but let's take a few sunshine breaths first. Breathing in the sunshine, exhaling it out. 2 more breaths. Breathing in the sunshine, exhaling it out. 1 more breath, breathing in the sunshine, and exhaling it out. So you could come back to downward dog, finding your own easeful way there. And then come back to tabletop. And when you're ready, step the right foot forward. And just take a moment. You can find this lunge and low lunge, opening through this left hip. Both hips are facing forward here. And if you'd like to, you might explore a little bit of movement, sending the tailbone forward and back. And just be mindful of your alignment here. You can allow the knee to go a little bit more forward than you would if you were doing this standing or lift all the way lifted. This can also be nice if you have that blanket if you want to put any padding under your knee. Breathing in, feeling, really feeling the muscles and the backs of the legs, the hips opening. You could also choose to lift the toe. You'll get a different type of stretch. For me, it's a little more intense back the calf when I do that. So you could keep the foot on the floor, or you could lift the toes and just notice how that changes the stretch, or if it changes the stretch for you and where you feel it. All right, when you're ready, let's allow ourselves to do a gentle twist here. So pressing the left palm into the floor right by your right foot, reaching the right arm up towards the sky, fingertips reaching high, pressing and lengthening. Beautiful. Breathing into it. Aligning and finding ease and release as much as you can. Support through the surfaces of your own body and space around you. When you're ready, coming back through the center, perhaps just stretching a bit into that left hip opening. And then we'll come back to tabletop. Beautiful. Shake it out. Maybe take a little side to side, weight shifting through the palms and knees. Maybe a cat-cow breath would feel nice. I might take a couple cat-cow breaths here. Beautiful. Coming into table again, stabilizing. This time, let's just take some gentle gazes to each side, allowing your spine to make some C curves. So really looking down at the floor and letting your tailbone come to center and then to the side, holding your head and neck. Find that gentle C curve, looking straight down. All right, coming back through the center, grounding and centering, stabilizing, spreading the weight through the palms, lengthening without locking in the arms. And when you're ready, take the left foot forward, and we'll come into that low lunge. So you might release the lining of the ankle and knee, softening the hips forward and down. And again, you might use the padding underneath your right knee. When you're ready, you might allow the pelvis and hips to move forward and back. Remember, you can explore keeping the foot flat on the floor, the left foot, or picking up the toes and noticing where you might feel the stretch in a different place. Noticing how it feels in your hips. Remember, it doesn't have to look like your movement really doesn't have to look like anyone else's but your own. So finding the version and the variation that really supports you. When you're ready, pressing the right palm into the floor and lifting the left fingertips up, twisting, adjusting, really finding the space and the length. You might even take those toes of the right foot and press them into the floor. That might feel good to release the pressure on the knee, soften into the hips, allow gravity to do what it does, but also be part of gently pressing away. Breathing into it, and when you're ready, coming back down through the center. Let's take the right foot, bring it back, and align the knees underneath the hips. Beautiful, beautiful, and beautiful. Let's come into downward dog again. Pressing the palms, pressing the toes into the floor. Lengthening through the spine in each direction. Maybe give your tail a little wiggle or your feet a little pedal. You could also gently lift the fingertips up that feels good and not doesn't put too much pressure on your wrist. Thread the weight out through the fingertips. Allow yourself to turn the elbows gently inward if that feels good. Wrapping the shoulders, feeling the stretch. And when you're ready, we'll move into what's called a vinyasa. So coming into plank, long, strong spine. You could lower the knees if you'd like. Prioritize that core engagement, keeping the navel center tugging inward. You might keep the elbows connected and hugged in. Take a low, slow journey to the floor. Press the tops of the feet into the ground. Press the palms into the earth. Press into cobra. Breathe here. Again, engage that navel center. You could come into up dog, letting the tops of the feet press into the floor, lifting the thighs. That's a little much for me now, so I'm going to let my thighs rest. Crossing the shoulders away from the ears, squeezing the shoulder blades together, giving yourself a smile and a cheer, tucking the toes, coming back to downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling the toes out. And when you're ready, you might walk, step, hop, or float the feet to the hands. Take a moment here in forward fold, ragdoll. You might breathe in, halfway lift, exhale all the way forward fold, bending the knees, breathe in, sweep the arms, gather the energy into your heart center. Beautiful. We'll move into mountain pose and then some sun salutations. So for mountain pose, you might have your palms open out, receiving sunshine like a beautiful mountain. You could have your feet together, or they could be slightly a little bit apart. You could also have the fingertips like blades and pointing down, the palms facing inward. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, opening the heart, but also this softness and strength, even while it's a strong, strong pose, keeping a little bit of softness in the belly and the core. Breathing into mountain. Few breaths here. Softening the jaw. Even in these strong, powerful poses, still having strength and softness in the strength. Lengthening your spine in each direction. Beautiful. Right, so I'm going to turn to face the other way for our sun salutations. And I invite you just to listen to my voice and allow that to guide you. And feel free to, of course, also look and see what I'm up to. All right, we're going to begin by breathing into extended mountain. Exhale, you could swan dive, which would be long, strong spine. Slowly or roll your way down. Beautiful. We're taking the first one kind of slow. Inhaling, halfway lift. And exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, sweep the arms up. And come back to mountain. So there we have with half sun salutation. Let's try the full one. Here we go. Breathing in, extended mountain. Exhaling, swan dive or roll your way down to forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale. Press the palms into the floor. Send the toes back, coming into plank. From here, we'll move into that vinyasa. Elbows hug in. Cobra. Breathing into cobra. Tucking the toes, lifting the tail, pressing the palms to the floor. Downward dog. Take a few breaths here. you can step, float, walk, or hop your feet to your hand. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, soften back down. Breathe in, soften the knees, and gather the energy. Scoop it in towards your center. Beautiful. Let's do one more and we'll move just a little bit quicker. Here we go. Breathing in. Extended mountain swan dive or roll your way down. Exhale. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, press the palms. Step the feet back. Length. Lower. Exhale, breathe in. Cobra. Tuck the toes. Reach the tail up high. Find your way into downward dog for a few breaths. And pedal the feet. You could also reach a foot up high or reach the other foot up high. Three-legged dog. Might feel good to do some gentle hip opening. Give you a little more time here to just explore what your body needs in downward facing dog. Maybe some wiggles or movement, or maybe just breath and stillness. When you're ready, walk, step, hop, or float your feet towards your hands. Breathe in, inhale. Exhale, soften. Soften the knees. Breathe in, scoop up the energy. And bring it back in towards your heart. Beautiful. That was really wonderful to participate in that sun salutation. We'll move from here into warrior two. So warrior two, stepping the feet wide, facing the toes forward at first. So take a moment here, feel your grounding. You move wide, wider stance. I'm a little narrower than I might be, partly just so you can see my feet in the frame. But feel free to go a little wider as you feel best, lengthening the spine in both directions. And when you're ready, the left toes are going to stay pointed forward. The right toes turn out and the hips open. You might bend into the right knee, press into the left foot. And if you like, taking the arms out into warrior two. Breathing into this opening through the hips and lengthening. Pressing into the outer edge of the left foot. If you'd like to, you might allow your left arm to reach back toward the left leg, coming straight up, softening here, or taking it up to go gently over, softening through the shoulder. You might look up or out or down. And then cartwheeling the arms back, coming into extended side angle, floating the forearm, just floating gently. Long, strong line from the left fingers to the left toes. Oops, not too much weight here. Knees aligned over the ankle. When you're ready, come back through the center. Beautiful. Let's take peaceful warrior one more time. Left arm to the left back leg. Up to go gently over. Peaceful warrior. Shanti Virabhadrasana. Soften into gratitude for whatever peace you might feel and also what you might be working or fighting like a warrior for in your own life in a peaceful way. Coming back through the center. You might lengthen the front leg. You can bring the hands to the hips. Turn the right toes back towards the front. Find your center again. And if you'd like to, you could take the toes and the heels in, alternating toes, heels, toes, heels. Beautiful. Let's come into warrior two one more time. Just practicing getting there. The transitions are great to practice too. So this time, finding your wider stance, grounding into both feet. And then the right toes stay facing forward and the left toes turn out, bending the left knee, lengthening, pressing into the outer edge of the right back foot. The knee can align over the ankle on the left side, opening through the hips and lengthening the spine. So finding your center, even in this unusual place, softening through the ribs. Bringing the arms out if you'd like. You might turn one palm up, leave the other palm down, and alternate, looking at the palm that's up. It'll be a beautiful warrior dance. You might take your knee over the toes on each side. Let yourself express and move and scoop, really tracking and aligning the knees gently over the toes, alternating one palm and then the other, moving with your breath, moving with nature, the beauty of nature. When you're ready, you might come back to extending the arms, then allowing the right arm to come to the right leg, reaching straight up, softening through the shoulder. You could stay here, or you could go up to go over into peaceful warrior. Connecting again to the theme of gratitude. And just noticing what comes to your mind when you think about what you might be thankful for in this moment. Could be your breath, could be your feet, could be someone special to you who you love. Or maybe many people come to mind. Could be the earth and the sky. You might look up towards the sky or out towards the world or down towards the earth. Just take a moment to give thanks for all the sky above us, and the earth below us, and everything in between. When you're ready, coming back through the center, cartwheeling the arms, you might let the left forearm gently, ever so gently, like a butterfly, land on that left thigh and find that long, strong line, extended side angle. This one's a challenge for me, so it might be a challenge for you too. Really prioritize engaging the core. It might be a little less is more sometimes. Lining through the joint. And when you're ready, coming back through the center, feeling your gratitude even for the challenges. Okay, let's come back to our standing, turning the left toes in. And here you might heel, toe, heel, toe, or hop the feet in, however you'd like to make it back to the center. Beautiful. We'll move into tree pose, which I love to do, especially around all these trees, these magnificent trees. So perhaps take a moment if there's trees in your space to just notice and thank the trees. We'll shift weight onto one foot and then onto the other. Let's go ahead and shift weight onto the right foot, spreading the weight, noticing, turning the left hip and toes out. Feeling your weight on the center line of your leg. So really drawing your intention to the center. You might just put your toes here. This could be enough. You could also use a block for this if you'd like to. You could experiment and explore how a block could support you with kind of that in between type of level, or on the other side even. So you might just explore variations, ways a block could support you if you'd like. You could allow your sole of your foot to press into the lower leg. Avoid your knee. You could also allow the sole of your foot to press into your thigh, pressing the leg and the sole of the foot together, opening through the hips, lengthening up, softening here. You press the palms together. You can find a focal point straight ahead of you, something you can focus upon. And I like to get a little creative here and breathe into different shapes in the upper body because trees are not just one shape. They could be like this too. That's the traditional tree. One of the traditional tree poses for yoga is lifted arms, relaxing through the shoulders. But if you'd like to explore a creative shape through your upper body, feel free to, especially if it feels nourishing. Breathe into that shape. Look straight ahead at a focal point or a drishti to help with balance. Breathe into this beautiful tree. Come out anytime you need to, but also feel free to stay in the beauty of balance, the beauty of groundedness of a tree or trees. Whenever you're ready, allowing yourself to soften both feet back into the earth and the floor. Feel free to use a block again on the other side if you'd like. Shifting weight onto the left foot, spreading weight through the whole bottom of the foot. You might take the right toes and hip, turn it out. And everyone turns out differently too. So there's no standard. It's just what is your body? What's a good, healthy stretch for your body? And that's part of your exploration through this yoga class. You might take your sole of your foot on the lower leg. That could be more challenging than lifting it up. You never know. Lifting it up to the thigh. Avoid the knee to protect your joint. You choose. You might also explore pressing into the thigh. So pressing the leg and the sole of the foot together in both directions, feeling your stability, feeling that center line. Whoa! Finding something ahead of you that you can really focus on to stabilize your balance. Oh, I just noticed that helps me drop in when I stay focused on one point, the drishti or focal point. You could breathe into the traditional yoga tree shape. Reaching the arms above your head, softening through the shoulders. Appreciating trees for all they give us and all they do just by breathing and being themselves. They're offering, they're also receiving from their environment. So we can learn from that example of trees who just naturally receive and give and receive and give, taking nourishment from their roots, their branches, taking nourishment from every direction, bring it into themselves. They wave in the breeze, they adapt to the weather, and somehow they keep giving and receiving in this ongoing cycle. You might explore some movements through your branches, different tree shape. When you're ready, gently allowing yourself to come back to both feet rooted on the floor. Just take a moment to give gratitude for yourself and for the ways that trees have supported you. You may bring one palm to the belly, one palm to the heart center, and just take a breath here. We're coming to chair pose, sending the weight a bit back into the heels and sending the tailbone back. You could lift the arms above your head. Arms could be straight in front of you, face palms facing each other, palms facing towards the floor. Or maybe they're on your, hands on your hip. The weight's back in your heels. You could explore some sun breaths in chair pose too. Breathing the arms like wings, aligning and grounding. One more breath. And if you'd like to, you might explore a little cat-cow. Cow And cat, just arcing a little bit through the spine. All right, gently rolling back up to standing. If you'd like to, you could just gently shake it out a little bit. Now I will turn turn again to face away from you for our lunge sequence. So when you're ready, you can come to the top of your mat. I'm actually standing a little back just so you can see my movements a little bit better. But when you're ready, let's go ahead and take the left foot straight back. We'll come into a high lunge. So you might turn the left foot at about a 45-degree angle. Explore and experiment what angle works best for you. Lengthening without locking, reaching the arms up if you'd like. Breathing into this high lunge. And when you're ready, you might take it into a gentle twist, reaching the right arm back. You could allow the arms to spread like wings, even as the hips are still forward. You could also allow the left elbow to bend, reaching toward, making a fist, the left fist, reaching toward the thigh and clasping the right arm on the left fist. This is a strong twist. Feeling into your stability and your breath. And when you're ready, pressing back up through the center, coming back through that simple lunge. And whenever you're ready, stepping the back foot to the front foot and maybe shaking it out a little bit. We'll go ahead and try that now on the right side. So taking the right foot straight back. And again, you might turn the right foot at a 45-degree angle. So find the angle that really supports you. The hips are forward, reaching the arms up. You might turn the pinkies in for a little bit of further stretch in the shoulders and the arms, aligning the knees over the ankles. Breathing into this high lunge. And when you're ready, if you'd like, you might take it into a twist, letting your left arm reach back, spreading the arms like wings, keeping the hips forward, working with the alignment that really supports and nourishes you. So adapt and vary always and as you need. If you'd like, you could take this right arm or elbow, find your left thigh, make a fist with the right, and clasp with the left over. Find that space in your body, pressing up, lengthening. Beautiful. You might even open if you want to try variation. Beautiful. You might use the support of your palm to just reach back up through the center, come back through the lunge, and take the back foot to the front. Okay, shake it out if you need to. Beautiful. We will come into just a little bit of back bends and cooling down. So I invite you to find your way into a downward dog position. So you take your time, find your own creative way to get there. And just take a moment here, stretch or pedal the feet, take a few breaths. And then coming into tabletop or and then from here, stretching out on to the belly, softening, letting the earth really support your weight. You might even gently rock your tailbone or pelvis side to side. That feels good and releasing the lower back. And then just soften into the earth for a moment, resting one of your um, sides of your face on the floor. When you're ready, you might bring the palms underneath your shoulders and press up Then slide the forearm in front of you. Perhaps widen the legs a little bit so they're different than cobra, allowing some space in the low back. Coming into Sphinx. So allowing your forearms to support your weight, elbows under the shoulders or slightly wider than the shoulders. And just breathing here. The feet can be, the tops of the feet can be pressing down into the floor. Beautiful. And then relaxing back down to the earth. You can allow your arms to travel down at your sides, and the palms can face up toward the sky, softening into the earth. And on the next inhale, we'll lengthen the spine. And on your next inhale or breath cycle, you can allow your inhale and lengthening to also allow you to lift. So really prioritize the lengthening through the top of the head. You can keep looking down. You might lift the arms, gently lift the legs. Prioritize lengthening over the amount of lifting. Really lengthening. And look, it feels good to breathe here for a moment. Stay a little bit and breathe a little bit. And then gently softening back down to the earth. Beautiful. When you're ready, you might take the palms underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, and just gently press your way back into child's pose. So sending the tailbone towards the heels. Here's a place where if you'd like to put any support, you certainly can. Pillow or a blanket or a bolster. Lengthening the arms forward, resting the forehead on the mat, and just breathing into child's pose. Taking a few breaths here, softening into the support of the earth. Pressing through the palms of the hands. And when you're ready, you might press the palms into the mat, coming back through, sitting on your in cross, sitting cross-legged perhaps for a moment, and then extending the legs in front of you. And you might separate the glute muscles a bit, really sit on the sitting bones, letting the legs lengthen in front of you. And we'll just take a little moment here in staff pose. So pressing the palms down, lengthening the spine up, and you might really press, just gently press through the whole back of the leg into the floor, focusing on leg. This is a strong, strong pose, so the feet are flexed. Beautiful. When you're ready, you might just allow yourself to gently lengthen the spine forward and then soften the upper body over into forward fold. You can soften a bit here, allow the muscular engagement to go. Just breathe into a bit of down, regulating. When you're ready, gently and slowly pressing into the floor, rolling back up. And from here, we'll find our way into constructive rest or Shavasana. If you're ready for Shavasana, feel free to go straight into into that. But you can also join me in just a few gentle stretches to prepare. So you could allow yourself to just roll. You might hold the backs of your legs, find your way into constructive rest. So lengthening through the spine. Make any little adjustments that you need to. Lengthening through the spine. You might gently tap the bones behind the ears and allow the heart to soften the jaw. You could even just gently brush with your fingertips down your face, softening the jaw down. And from here, you're welcome to simply rest. You're ready for resting. Or you could take the right ankle, cross it over the left knee, open up through the right knee, soften the whole surface of the back to the floor. And you might just allow yourself to reach through. You could either reach and hit up gently, help the thigh move in towards your center, or you might hang on to your shin and just breathe into this reclined pigeon pose. Strong stretch for the hips, so make sure the stretch feels good to you. Allow gravity to support you and take your weight to hold you. And allow your breath to come and go. Whenever you're ready, you might gently release, uncross, and bring the left ankle to the right knee, opening up. It could just stay right here if you'd like. That might be enough. Or you could allow the right leg to gently fold in and perhaps hold onto the back of the right thigh or hamstring, or you could hold on to your shin, your right leg. Breathing into this stretch. You might feel it in your left hip, lengthening through the spine, softening the jaw downwards toward the chest. The jaw softens, breath softens. Just using the muscles that you need. Whenever you're ready, uncrossing the legs, gently letting your feet come back to the floor. The knees are pointing up toward the sky. And if you'd like to, you might extend your arms out to the side and allow your knees to gently fall toward the right, keeping both shoulders on the ground as you let your gaze fall toward the left. Just breathing into this reclined twist, really letting gravity hold and support you, ground you. Whenever you're ready, allowing your knees to come back up through the center. And taking a quick moment before you allow the knees to gently shift to the left, the hips stack atop one of another. And your gaze can shift toward the right. Breathing deep and free, releasing your thoughts, having your breath flow and support. Whenever you're ready, you might allow the knees to travel back to the center and allow the legs to extend long if you'd like, or you can stay in constructive rest or shavasana, allowing the arms to come long at the sides or possibly rest the palms on the belly. Soften into your breath, releasing shavasana or final rest corpse pose, allowing yourself to let go, surrender into gravity, into the flow of life. in the many cycles of life. Just to breathe in gratitude for this moment, practice, this experience. And I will be quiet so you can just be with your breath for this last part of class. Softening, relaxing, and continuing to return your attention to your breath. Whenever you're ready, allowing yourself to gently bring some movement into the toes and the fingers, maybe some wiggles. You might slowly bring the soles of the feet back to the floor. Maybe let the head gently rock side to side. Just really taking the time to transition. You can roll to one side slowly and gently. Allow yourself to just rest on that side for a moment. Soften your weight into your side. Whenever you're ready, pressing the palms into the floor. Slowly and gently coming back up to sitting in easy seat, Sukhasana. And we'll end and close our class with 3 breaths together. So if you'd like to, bringing one palm to the heart center and the other palm to the navel center and belly. We'll take 3 breaths together, breathing in gratitude and exhaling gratitude as well. Breathing in gratitude and exhaling thankfulness. Breathing in the gifts of this moment and exhaling with awareness of the gifts of this moment. Thank you so much for joining me in this gratitude focused yoga experience. I hope that you'll carry the spirit of gratitude with you wherever you go and however you move. And I hope to practice and move again with you soon. Thanks again for joining. Bye.